Gaea you can get from quadspinners.com. It is a program that you can purchase if you want to. If you're looking for more 4K, you want really big, large maps and textures, you want to purchase it. But what you can do is, this is the cost of it, okay? But they have a free one, and the free one is the one that you want to get. And the great thing about the free one is in Unreal, it's going to limit you to about a 1K, a certain size map, which is all you need, to be honest with you. So go over there and just download the thing, okay? Go ahead and get that, and I'm gonna walk you through real quick just basically how to use it a little bit, okay? What it does. So give me a second here. Let's go and let's create something new. So everyone can see what's on the screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What this is first let me talk about navigation. Most of you may not have taken a 3D class, and if you've never taken a 3D class, I'm going to go ahead and get you up to speed on navigation, or a program we use called Maya here. And the way this works is it uses the exact same 3-button mouse navigation system. So if you put your finger on the Alt key and the left mouse button, you can rotate. If you put your finger, keep your finger or thumb, I use my thumb on the Alt key and the middle mouse button, I can zoom in and out. And then if I want to pan, I'm sorry, let me do that again. It's the Alt key and the left mouse button to rotate, Alt key and the middle mouse button to pan, and the Alt key and the right mouse button to zoom in and out. That's it. So Maya works the exact same way. This program is a node-based system, and node is look at a node like a container that has a certain number of properties on it. That's it. It's just a folder with certain things that you can do to that folder. And it has a lot of nodes. All of these are NODE is what I'm saying, node. So you have these nodes up here where you can find what you need, and you have these nodes here. So this is the graph layout system. Okay, here are the properties. When I add a node, the properties are going to pop up here. So I don't want to go too in depth here, not right now. Later down the road we will. So for example, if I want to quickly, I don't want to have to go spend a lot of time just going through and connecting nodes. I can come into the terrain, I can go into landscape, and it already has some pre-made environments for me. So for example, I can create a canyon, okay, and it's going to walk me through it. Here's my canyon. Cool. It looks pretty cool, is it? And the properties for that canyon are right here. So I have different styles that I can go with. Okay. And I got to give it time to work. And a lot of this is based off of your system resources. You can lower the system parameters if you need to, if your system is not that strong. So it makes it a whole lot easier for you to see things. But I can come into the properties. So this is for this particular node. These are all the properties that are assigned to that folder or that container. I'm able to come in and adjust things like scale, and I can see that stuff right now. As I make these changes, I can do it. I can just, it's going to update it for me. I have slots. That's not bad. So imagine this being something like a canyon. A ship flies in, and there's a base somewhere in here, and it flies in through this canyon or whatever. So you can, or valley, you can make all kind of little nice changes here just by playing around with this. But the way I like this package, the reason why I use this package is I can mix and blend other parameters together. So say for example, I don't know what I'm going to get here, but I can come in and let's go back here. I can add mountain. So let's see what the mountains look like. So I have a mountain here, and then here's my canyon. See that? But I need to blend these two together. If I right click here, it brings up the same type of parameter set. These are the most commonly used type parameters here, or nodes. I want to add a combine. It uses mathematical properties here. Okay, so I can take the out here and the out here, and we can take a look at this thing, and you see it sort of changed up a little, as if it's trying to build a mountain right there. Okay, so I can come in and adjust the scale of this thing, or the height. Let's take it back down. Let's see what that looks like. See what it's doing? It's adding like a little small heel in the middle of that thing. It doesn't look that great, but you know, you get the point. You can also, maybe I don't want to add that here. I'm going to delete. So you can select the little tube there and hit the delete key to remove it. I'm going to come in here and I can go from out to in like that. And this is where I really don't like doing it this way, because you sort of lose the look that you're going for. See that? But let's take it back. Let's go back here. I'm going to put that back in there. Let's take it and let's play around with some of the nodes here, the mathematical nodes here. So this is a blend. It's blending these two together. We're doing a additive mathematical node screen multiply. So you have all kind of things that you can do here. So let's try something a little different. Let's see what other little terrain that we may have. Let's see what slump does. So there's a slump right there. Maybe I want to connect this there instead. And let's see what it gives me by blending that together. Let's see. So yeah, you see what it's doing? It dropped that down a little bit. Okay, you can add things like water in here. There are nodes for doing all of that good jazz, and also you can do a little investigating on your own on how to do that type. So down the road, I'm gonna recover that whole process. But you have the option of just playing around with this. And so one of the main reasons why we use this, I use this, and I'm teaching this, is because instead of you trying to sculpt all this stuff inside of Unreal, Gaea sort of helps you out with that. Okay. Down the road, when we create these height maps, we're going to sort of start here, and then you're going to go out, and when we take it over into Unreal, you're going to start playing around with where your world is going to. Now, these maps are huge. You don't have to use everything. We can also, and so when we take it over into Unreal, we can sort of crop out all the parts that we don't need. But for the time being, this is something that we can use here. So this is how I made those craters. So those craters also, you can find them. So if anyone wants to do something like what I'm working on, we have one called crater here. So it's going to start something like that, and we can play around with again, the scale of this thing, the formations of it. I don't know if this is even the right one. Let me see. Crater field. That's the one. There it is. Wrong one. So you can build them individually, or you can come in and do something like this. So this crater field, and what's cool here is I can even combine these two together by going and creating another combine. Just combine these two there, and you really got to play around with, see what it's doing there. I don't know if you all can see that. So we have like this little valley that has been pot-marked by meteors over time, and all that good stuff. So there's a lot that you can do here. You just want to come in, play around with it a little bit, have some fun, just to see what you're going to come up with. And we can still come in and play around a lot with each one of these nodes here. So I can adjust the seeds like that, the position here, or where I want things to go. The scale, that's not bad. Let's check it. And I mean, it may work for you, it may not. It just depends on kind of what you're doing here with the output, and which one of these you want to go with. That's not bad. This could be a flatbed, riverbed. A lot of water used to be here at one time, so something like that could work for me. And what you want to do next is there are ways of outputting this thing. I'm not going to cover that, but only thing I need to do here, and I'm going to recommend for you to do, is just to reposition it like that and screenshot it. So this is basically what I did here. Okay, you can look into later how to output this thing. There's a node in here for saving and getting this thing over to Photoshop and all. This actual build node in here and where you want to take it out. So you see there's one for Unreal. And you can save out an image. You can save out, you can just screenshot this thing, or you can send it over to Unreal. So that's basically how this thing works here. And then all you need to do is just go in and screenshot this, take it over to Photoshop, and you're good to go there. Any questions?
Professor Gardner, I have a question. Is there any way to be able to check how far you are from hitting that 1K? Like, is there like a setting there that shows you how much you've used up?
Well, right here it's going to tell you right there. There's your map size. So if you go, I have
Oh.
a, I'm using a pro version or unlimited version, so it's going to be a little different for me. But if you go in, click up here, it'll tell you
Mhm.
what your limitations are. If you're using the free version, you most likely are going to have the 2K and the 4K are
I
going to be
see.
locked out.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And if you're, and you may feel like you may decide that you don't want a 1K, you can go and preview it down a little bit at a 512 or whatever. But there's when you output this thing, it's going to tell you that you're limited. You can't go up to 4K. This thing here can get pretty extreme as how you build and how you output, and there's a lot of information out there on Gaea. You just got to search for it, and there's tons of information out there on YouTube on using the package. So this would work really great for you landscape and you environmental people like Floyd. Floyd, you building it. This is one package that is used a lot. There's another one out there called World Builder. But Gaea, to me, I really like Gaea. A lot of studios are using programs like World Builder and Gaea to do this stuff. Before this, we used to build this stuff by hand in Photoshop. We used to create our own height maps, and it took a lot. There are other ways of doing this. You can also build height map information by I'm sort of jumping the gun here. You can take real map. They're maps that can be converted like real maps. You can go to a map and you can capture the if the pages still exist. I don't know if they do, but you can say, hey, I want a map of my neighborhood. And as long as you can go in and you can zoom into your neighborhood, it'll create height map information of your neighborhood. Yes, there are ways of doing that type of thing too. You can get information and create height map information. Height maps are grayscale information. It's using black and white data and everything in between, and inside of a 3D package or Unreal or whatever. That's how we get the elevations here. So what it's doing is taking that grayscale information and it's pushing the pixels down or up. That's what a height map is. Okay, it's called scalar, a scalar. So scalar info. Every time you hear the word scalar, that basically means grayscale or black and white. That's all that is. But we'll get into more detail on that later. And on in here on the server, if I'm not mistaken, in the resource section, somewhere in here is data on how to. You can even take the moon if you want to. You can get lunar information from NASA. Yeah, I have some stuff in here on using Gaea. It is in the Unreal resources. There are tutorials there on using this program, creating height maps, Gaea plus Unreal. There's tons of stuff, and somewhere else on here is information on getting. You can go there. There's a data that you can get on Mars, the Mars terrain, and you can convert that to real landscape information through a height map. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff out there. So somewhere in here, in the resource section, yeah, I see it. It's up there. It says NASA data. It's probably 1/4 down on the page. It's labeled. The date is 3/4/2024. So that guy is he will walk you through how to take real data. He's using Python code from NASA, and you can convert it. Explore the moon in Unreal. So if you actually wanted to create an environment that is using the information from the moon, you can import it and drop that stuff into Unreal. So I give you a lot of options here. Okay, so you go research that stuff out if you're interested in this. But for this particular assignment, You don't have to use this. It's not required. I just want to show you and give you another option here. So again, we want to zoom in a little bit, get in as tight as we can, screenshot that, take it over into Photoshop and start laying out where things go. Or you're going to place your buildings and stuff like that. Okay. Um, is this helpful? Is this something that you think that you may want to use or you will be using?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Quick question.
Yeah.
Can you make like forests and stuff like that, like trees, or is that just specifically Unreal?
I want to say they do have, you can color code. Somewhere is a node in here. I don't know about making trees. That stuff is going to be an Unreal. But if there is a node in here for color, um, somewhere in here. So we have maps. Yeah, these maps here that we can come in and we can output. So there you go. So we can output and sort of get an idea on if we want to texture this thing a little bit, and you can change this stuff up. You can play around with all of these little settings here to sort of help you out. So if you want to create like a forest color, not a necessarily with trees in here, no, I don't think they're going to allow you to do that. There is also things like see erosion. We have color erosion, but there's another erosion in here. There's this type of erosion. Is it gonna drop the node in? I don't think it did. There's a lot in this package, man. It's cool. Snow. So if you wanted snow peaks, if I'm not mistaken, we could do that for mountains. I can add snow and I can add all kind of stuff like that. Trees, I have not seen anything on trees in here yet. That would be pretty cool if they did add something like that, but I could be wrong. It may be here. Okay, but to be honest with you, just say that for like Unreal. That's what I would do. Okay, so take that screenshot, it, drop it in, and that is exactly what I did to get this sort of small little lunar look there. Okay, so the next thing I kind of want to cover real quick is I'm not gonna go over this whole thing, but I do want to just say, hey, I'm gonna start this thing out maybe inside of the VIP area. So I want to start designing the VIP area or even the research zone. So say we just want to work on the VIP area, and I'm using these little. Let me go find them real quick. All of these little maps that were given to you the other day. I'm going to drag and drop those in as I see fit. And now what I want to do is pretty much go in and take out what I don't need. So we have this dome right here that's connected to another little dome area. This area here, we're going to say it sits above ground. Okay, so they come in, it's not below ground, it sits above ground. So the rich folks want to be able to see. They want the perfect view of space and the earth and all that good jazz. So everyone else is underground. So we can just start designing that out. So as the vehicles come in, there's a little gate here, and we want to sort of let's plan that out here. So maybe right in here we want to put some sort of little gate, little area. Now the thing is, I don't need these, so anything over here we can start taking out, right? And to do that type of thing, first I'm going to double click here to unlock this environment or that layer there, and then I'm going to either magic wand this out, start selecting certain parts here. So I'm selecting the magic wand, and then I'm just going to either delete or let me show you this first. I don't even want to do it that way. Let's separate out the foreground from the background. You can try to take the magic wand and select all the white background and all that good jazz, but if I go up to select color range and select color range, is going to do what magic wand does, but it's going to do it and it's going to select everything for you. And I can increase up this fuzziness if I want to hit OK. And what it's going to do, see, is just separate it out, selected everything that was in black. And then I'm going to press F3, F4 to copy paste. So now I have that on its own little layer there. And I can fill this in like I have my swatches here. If I press the X key, it'll swap out the colors between foreground and background. Or if I press Control Backspace, it's gonna fill it in with the background. If I press Alt Backspace, it's gonna fill it in with the foreground. Please mute your mics. Emily, mute your mic, please. So Control Backspace like that. So now I have this separated. Now I can come in with the magic wand. Make sure I'm on the correct layer and select the magic wand. I have it selected here. Let's make this larger so y'all can see it. Zoom in, pressing Control plus to zoom in, and now we can just come in here and I can delete what I don't need. Maybe let's take all of this stuff out. I'm holding out Shift as I click this to add to it, and Control D to deselect. So looking at my map here, we're gonna come in on this side here. Maybe this is gonna be a big. We have these two pillars right there, but I want to now. And what I'm going to do is create a marquee right there and fill it in with the foreground color. So let's go Alt Backspace, just like that. So this is going to be a gate of some sort, and then I may want to put some sort, since this thing is round, okay, I can either use what I already have here if I need to, or I can come in and add to it. Half of this stuff in here I'm not going to even use. Magic wand. And I saw that most of you are already working and adding and creating your own, you know, environments. That's pretty cool. You started that, putting up work in progress. I like that. So let's take all this stuff that we don't need out. And maybe, let's see, let's add like a circle, some sort of spherical. I'm going to hold down the Shift key to sort of constrain that, and I can move this into place. So right in here, maybe I'm going to go like that. No, let's take it down. I'm going to shift it. I'm going to move it in just a little bit. So let's add a new layer. So let's go here, right? And then what I'm going to do is fill it all in with black. Control Backspace. I'm going to go up to Select and Modify and contract that in maybe by 5 pixels. No, that's not enough. I can see it now. Select, Modify, contract. Let's try 30 pixels. Yeah, we're getting there. Select, Modify. Let's do another 30. Another 30. Yeah. And delete. Okay. Control D. Take this. Now Control C. And now I can bring this down just a little bit. Let's bring this up right in there somewhere. I don't like this little part right here also, so I'm probably going to remove it. W for the magic wand. I'm on the wrong layer. Let's select this. Is it gonna work? My shortcuts are still not working. Delete and delete. Okay. If I wanted to go ahead, go back in here and sort of make this into a little circle S type shape, I either can, I tell you, let's just do that. I was going to show you multiple ways of doing that, but I'm just going to take what we already have. I'm going to take this one and Control J to duplicate the layer. Control T just and scale it down. Move into location where I want that to be. Okay, so this is the bigger area, and what I think I want to do here is let's make this small. Let's make multiple pods here that are connected to the outside wall. So we have to have some sort of window out here, some form of fashion. V, I'm gonna go, well, V should be move. Hold down the Alt key. Let's put one over here. Let's go back here and remove what we don't need. Delete that. Control D to deselect. And then I'm going to go back to move. Hold down the Alt key again. And I'll tell you what, this time, instead of doing it that way, let's take these two, Control E, and then let's mirror those over or duplicate them. So let's take this and Control T. No, I'm sorry, not Control T. Let's Control G to duplicate the layer, and then let's go to Edit, Transform, and let's flip that horizontal. So now we can do something like this. I wish there was a way for it to actually mirror over. So they come through the gate, they disembark, and then we can set these up where we have some sort of lanes here that takes you to each pod, and the courtyard in the middle. So maybe this is the courtyard area, and we probably need to add something here. So as they are coming in, the gates open, there's an area that is actually zoned off for the because of atmosphere. This will be an area where there's oxygen here, so they can roam around, but we'll have to build something in here. Okay, that sort of protects them. So a gate and then a little entrance area, walking area. So let's do that. So
Sorry to interrupt, Professor. I have a question. Were you able to find out what the Unreal version on the computers at school are?
say that again. Was I able to find out what?
What version the Unreal that's downloaded at the computers
Yeah, I
and
think
at the
Olivia,
CMII?
she did mention that to me. Give me a second. Let me go get that.
Thank you.
Give me a second. That's a lot here. I'll tell you what. Let me go ask her. All right. So I'm just gonna continue here. Let me take. Let's take this one here. F3 or 4. And I'm going to press Control T, and now I can rotate this thing out a little bit to sort of change up the design a little bit. I probably should have scaled this thing down, but it's all good. I can use the eraser for that. I just need something there. And enter, and let's mirror that thing over also. Edit, transforms, and let's flip it horizontally. First, I need to make a copy. That's right. Control G. Edit, transform. FYI, if most of you didn't know, Photoshop, you can assign hotkeys. You have to go into the preferences for that type of thing, but you can assign hotkeys to certain controls. I used to have that, but I'm not in Photoshop a lot like I used to be. And if I was, I definitely would be doing stuff like that. But if you need to sort of automate and automate stuff for speed, that's what I recommend that you do stuff like that. So I'm gonna come in and take the lasso. Let's take these two and drop it down. Let's take the lasso. Let's go around these and just hit delete. And see, so now we have a holding little zone with another little gate that people would disembark in. So let's Control E, Control E, Control E. Let's do it one more time. There we go. And at this point, I can probably get away with, I even like that. I like that little pillar right there. I probably should have added an extra one in here. I may want to go in and add multiple ones here for structure and just say there's a little pillar here. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, let's do that. And let's figure out where we want to move this. And let's add a new layer right quick. favor. Don't call me professor. Call me by my name. Just say Joe. I'm not that formal. Okay. Something like that can work. And definitely look through the other little designs here and figure out what we can do, because I know that I'm going to need to add more in here. How big do we want to make this? Is it a 2-story type dome? Maybe it is, and we can now start playing around with getting even tighter and start playing around with the room design, where the bed's going to be. Is this little, there's a porthole right in here in each zone for the rich, where the bathrooms and all that good stuff. Those are the type of things that you want to think about. But for the blockout purposes, it's not that necessary right now, because your design is going to change, and it's going to constantly keep changing. Let's see, maybe we want to add a guard post here, some sort of little box in here on both sides that says these are some, maybe they have their own defense in there, so no one else can get inside. You have to have a specific key or access and all, but they just share this open area. Okay, that's how that's going to work. Then that's what you're working on. So you just want to take these maps and use them, mix and match and composite. So we're compositing, we're just taking different parts here. I don't know what else is in here. Let me see if there's anything else I can use before I let you all go. So let's increase this a little bit. Maybe, and FYI, if you didn't know, these are, I think, the environments from Halo. It's either Halo or Destiny. I can't remember what Ola said when she pulled these down. I'm not liking a lot. That was not bad. Let's take that. See what we can pull from it. A second here. I need to make a little room. Matter of fact, I probably should have started here. This is not bad there, and then created a zone here. Each one of these little tunnels here with this little circle. I still can't. So if we wanted to, we can take parts of this thing, make it larger. Maybe this whole area here is the major room for each VIP, and each one of these little pods here is where the living quarters at 4 living quarters inside that big major space, or 4 bedrooms. So something like that could work here. So let's see what we can do with that. So let's take this, drag and drop it in here, and figure out if we can use it. And with that, let's increase the canvas size. So we want to go a total of width and height. How big do I want to make this? I'll tell you what, let's go 5 and 5. Give myself a little bit more room here. Yeah, maybe here. Alt. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Maybe right in there. Okay. Let's take all of these and let's collapse them down. Control E. And now we'll come in here and start removing out those little pieces and parts we don't need, just using a lasso. Any questions on this?
Do we have to use Photoshop?
Why, you have something else you want to use?
I just prefer Illustrator.
Oh yeah, you can use Illustrator. Yeah, I like Illustrator. That's not gonna work. What the crap? Oh, I press Control Z. Save came up. This Photoshop is doing some crazy crap, man. It's weird. They keep changing it. Now I don't like the changes they're making, and it's just irking me that they're not telling people what they're doing, or they're making these strange modifications and changes. I mean, for the better, but it's not working for me. 3 or 4. I've been using Photoshop for a very long time. I mean, a really, really creepy long time. I say creepy long time. A long time. Most of you were born, what, in the 2000s? Photoshop is older than you are. Yeah, something like that. I'm just trying to go in and take out what I don't need. So the gate, I may have to modify this also and figure out how I'm going to connect these. So you would have to have some sort of way of connecting all this. So it's going to be crazy. Let me think about it. So I think this is a centralized little area we want to go with. We may have to add some sort of door on each one of these little areas, which means we may want to take out or move one of these rings. You understand where I'm going here? Is this making sense?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. And maybe let's do this. Let's add maybe this little part right here. It used to be, that would actually allow me to, let's go move. Yeah. Maybe this is the guard post. Yeah, there's a guard post out here. And let's bring this down. Scale it down. Put one on each side. And we have to let me select that one again. So I hate that. Come on. Auto select. It's not on. And let's go move and Alt. And I'm just gonna pull one over on this side. It's pulling all that other crap out here also. Control D. Escape. Control D. So magic wand. Delete. Control D. Lasso. Boy. There we go. Guard post. Gate. Let's see what we can add here to sort of distinguish. Say that this is a gate. Okay, of some sort. How do I want to do that? Ooh, nope, that's not it. Wrong one. Control D. Let's cut one in here. Hold down the shift key and cut one in right there. And control backspace. So we can just say, hey, this thing that opens up or whatever. So guard post, gate, and again we're gonna have to block this area off in some manner. Let me just use a brush here to do that quickly. B key for brush. And let's see, how far do I want to take this over? Maybe just right here. That's all we need. And we'll cut it off right here. Doesn't have to be perfect, we just need something there. And let's remove this other mess up there. So Delete. And we have the little living quarters for that little area here. Okay. Which wouldn't be a bad idea for me to say, hey, this is the big main area, and then put these little pods here. I may add to it. So there's little pods here, and I think I'm gonna make them smaller. Okay. So this is also supposed to be a dome out here for the guards that sits up on a ridge in that canyon. Okay. So that's just little one area. Now I have something to work with to say this is how they move around. We can start figuring out what some of this other little stuff is in here if we need to, but they're living quarters. I may leave these in here for storage. Say, hey, these are little storage rooms for these places, and that might be accessible in the game. So as you run through the game, they have access to those little zones there. The only problem that I do see is go in and move around. Yes. Let's add doors in here. So an indicator for that. Control E. And then I'm just going to go in and marquee select around an area like that and delete it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Delete. This is not going to work for me. And what I needed to do was, it's going to make it difficult, I believe. Let's see. And yeah, it is going to make it difficult. So I'm going to work it out this way. Lasso around all of that, and hold down the Alt key. Doesn't have to be perfect again. Undo. Crap, it's not going to work the way I want it to work. It doesn't matter. Let's take it, Control T, and I'm going to rotate this thing out around a little bit. Maybe like that. I can always go back and fill in the gaps there. And escape, Control D, brush, select. Oh, why did it do that? I tell you what, I'm just gonna leave it right there. I don't care. Let's go lasso and let's cut in right here. And we can always fix this area here. I think what I'm gonna do is take it all out for now, and move it. Yeah, for the time being. So we'll have a door there, and repeat that over here. One, two, three, four. Matter of fact, let's just take all of this out because I have an idea now for something else. Yeah, we may add one more in here, make it larger. A larger little dome in here, maybe an eating area, eating court. So these are the living spaces, and I don't like the fact that it's right there on the door. So let's say some of these have see shortcuts of wigging. It's wigging out again. Thanks, Photoshop. Some of these have multiple pods living, and some of these only have so it depends. Even that classism with the rich, he can't afford to have 3 rooms or 4 rooms or 5 rooms. He can only afford 2 or 3. We'll do something like that. like it really matters in this game. So we'll say here, we'll leave these like this. The other ones we'll leave like that. Yeah. So the player comes in here. This is the gate. They hold here. Pressurized. So this is the little zone that gets pressurized. So now they can go through and move around. Okay, and I probably need to divide that off also. Let's do that. Okay, so this area is going to be like that little pressurized zone. And then they can move this is a little small little help desk. And then they move around to wherever. So let's I need to paint this in. Let me show you this, because FYI, if you didn't know this, let me undo. Photoshop does have I have my brushes selected and I don't see it up here. Did I turn it off? Photoshop has a brush tool. It has a mirror option if you didn't know that, so we can actually work our symmetry. So I can put that right there, hit OK, and then now when I come in here, it's going to do that. So I'm working on both sides at the exact same time, depending on where I move that thing, and then I can come off and turn it off if I need to. Okay, just like that. Any questions?
Would you like us to save the file as like a what PNG, JPEG? Do you have RGB?
All I hear is A, B, C, D. You're breaking up a little bit. It's funny. Save it
Would you
out.
like us to save?
First, save it out as a PSD for yourself, and then when you present, you can save it out as a JPEG. Save as a copy of PNG. JPEG or PNGs will work. Okay, you just need something to sort of indicate what's happening there. Okay. So this is what I'm thinking. This is where, yeah. More? You got another question?
No, I was just saying thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let me find a different brush here. So, person is going to move in from this direction here. Okay. So gate, in, quadrants, holding, maybe supply area, whatever. We can even open this up to something, maybe a meeting area. Something, a large little room right in there. We can open that up if we need to open that up. Let me try that real quick. So let's magic wand that out. That's too much. It's gonna do that mess. Yeah, I may have to rebuild that. So let's go to the polygon rec. We just try to do this as fast as we can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh crap, come on. Stop fighting me. Yeah, Illustrator, use Illustrator, dude. One of my old instructors from UGA, he works for Adobe. Reach out to him and say, man, fix your program. It sucks. So maybe this is a little meeting area, holding area. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about Photoshop. It has saved me a lot, made me a lot of money at one time. Come on now. Brush, Alt, click. Yeah. Eraser. Eraser E. Yeah, my shortcuts are not working. I don't know if any of you having the exact same issues, but none of my shortcuts are working. It's crazy. Yeah, entrance. So this room can be used for whatever. Maybe they fight in there. One of the creatures get in, and now you have to figure out how to get out. Maybe you have to blow a hole in the wall. You can't. The doors close up, and you can't get out of your pod, and you have to figure out how to get out of there. Out of that, and then we may have, since this thing sits above ground, there may be a lot of storage and a little tunnel system underground, so you have to move between rooms, not above ground but below ground. We'll figure it out. I can figure that out later. But this is basically what I want you to do here. Okay, something like that. Any questions?